Hey, what's going on? My name is Josh. I'm from the Good Brothers Trading Academy, and today we are breaking down ticker symbol HYLN. Now, my goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and that way I can go live for you guys. I want to I want to break down tickers live, so I know what stocks you guys see value in. I also want to hold Q&As. For those of you that have questions, I want to answer the questions for you. Now, in order to get there, I need you to like, subscribe, and share the video. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so every time I upload new content, you'll be first to be notified. Now, Ben asked in the question or the comments below, looking for a long-term buy and hold entry on HYLN. It's been getting hammered after its merger. I feel it's near the bottom and near the 61.8 fib level. Thoughts? Well, we're going to break down HYLN for Ben, and we are going to first and foremost figure out where the buy and sell zones are at. So we have an idea of what's going on. Ben says it's around the 61.8 retracement. I'd have to agree. It looks pretty dang close. I'm not going to pull it out and check the fibs, but that looks like a buy zone to me anyway. Okay, now this would be a demand zone. Now let's find our supply zone where sellers came in the market to push the stock price down. Ben did mention, though, there was a merger. If there was a merger in the stock, for whatever reason, investors did not find the stock price to be attractive. And so what we're doing is we are going to continue to break it down on smaller time frames because there's going to be reversals happening on smaller time frames before the reversals happen on the bigger time frames. And if you're wanting to hold on to the stock for a while, we need to figure out an entry price, an entry level, and figure out where our clear zones are and buy zones, because this is a long ways. We're buying at a low, but we have to continue making our way up past these candles. And there is a lot of resistance through each one of these candles. So let's look at our daily chart. Okay, so we don't have a reversal. The reversal patterns are going to happen on smaller time frames first, once again, before the bigger time frames. Okay, but I do see, because now we're broke down into a smaller time frame, I do see another zone. There is clear, this is a clear buy and sell zone here. And that's pretty much it. We have definitely we got ourselves a quad top here, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, a nice consolidation station before the breakdown. And so what we want to do is we want to check out the lower time frame. Let's look at a 3-hour chart. We have our first reversal candle. Okay, it's not a reversal pattern yet, but we have a reversal candle. But what we can do now is we can look at these zones and let's fine tune them a little bit and say, well, I like the way this one actually looks. So let's get into this one here. We're going to move it up. Okay, this one's huge. When there's a zone this big, that's a big zone. We're going to break this down into a smaller zone. So let's move this up here and go, okay, we got sellers in the top of these candles. That makes sense. This seems to be the zone right there. So what I do is I go ahead and let's paint this zone red so we have an idea of where we are at when we look at smaller time frames. And then we'll also, I'm going to break down this chart even a little bit more because it makes sense that there's another zone in here. Just like that. Now we have our kind of like our supply and our demand, but I do see there's some struggling through this area right here, and we want to be aware of that. Now it's going to be a different kind of zone. To me, it doesn't seem that critical. We have a gap in the chart over here. I'm going to put the zone right there. That's not right. Let's go here. So that seems like a zone, but I'm going to go ahead and paint this a different color. Let's go gray. And that way we have an understanding that this is a different zone color, okay? Let's paint that also gray. Okay, so now we have an understanding. When we get to this, it's not a critical zone, but there definitely is. It's not as critical as some of these other zones. But let's continue to break it down. Let's look at an hourly time frame just for kicks and giggles. So we're battling a 50% retracement on that reversal bar as is. So I'd be definitely waiting for a reversal to happen. So let's draw in that. Let's see what a reversal would look like. and what we're kind of wanting to pay attention for. So there's a couple things that are going to happen. First, we want to see something happen. So there's no position to take right now. What we want to see is we want to maybe see a flag pattern before the lift off to the next zone. Okay, that's for people wanting to do an entry level trade of some sort. So we have this zone right here, right? A small zone, or some type of consolidation. It would make sense to get a consolidation sideways in the same matter before making the push up. Okay, the market loves symmetry, and so we want to pay attention to that. But what I would be doing is this would be better. It sold off so hard that it might take a little bit to recover. I don't know if I'd be just buying the dip on this particular trade. What I would like to see happen is something like this. I want to see it come up, make a move higher, maybe get rejected, come down, put in a double bottom, and then start making some higher lows. Okay, that's kind of what I would like to see happen. And that way you can go, okay, it's making some higher lows. Buyers are finding the price to be more attractive. Each time it gets higher, buyers are stepping in. I don't know if you're using EMAs, but the EMAs may start kind of curving up at that point, finding a bottom or some type of a base. And so that's what I'd be looking at. Now, let's go. Now, since we have our zones and we kind of understand where the smaller time frames are, let's go back and see what the weekly chart is giving us and the daily chart. So we'll just peek at the daily chart. It's not going to give us too much. We already saw it. We know there's no reversal down there. But what would be nice is if we did, and we got that, again, we got like maybe a double bottom or a higher low. Or if we get a big green candle in a consolidation, we know that's a strong move up. I'm going to be paying attention to this stock for the next couple of days. But what I would really like to see happen is I want to see, I'd like some news on this thing. Wouldn't that be cool if we had some type of good news coming out on this stock, and that way it kind of proves to us that it wants to make a move higher in the market? Because at this point it looks like it's just kind of bleeding down, and there's nothing to tell us that this thing is going to be returning anytime soon. It's a new company. It made a move really quick. Oh no, it's not a new company. It just decided to actually make a move. It used to be cheap, $10. So I'm not sure what the deal was with it. I'd be looking into that to do a buy and hold scenario. But let's look at the weekly time frame, and this is going to tell us a little bit more. So when we get a reversal, what does a reversal consist of? We want to see, in this scenario, we have a big sell bar coming down. And in order to determine that it's a reversal, we need to get at least 50% up this candle right here. So we want to see something like this. So that makes sense. Now we have a reversal pattern on a weekly chart. We know where our zone is. What if we started holding this zone as support on the 3-hour time frame, and we start going sideways like this? And you see these wicks coming in. The wicks coming in, there's buying pressure coming up to the top side, and then we get the breakout to the next zone. Okay? That kind of starts making sense. Now we know that we're in a reversal on the weekly time frame, waiting for a pattern to form and start making sense to us. We understand direction. So each time the stock, imagine this, Ben, that we get a reversal on the weekly time frame. What if it comes back down to the 38.2 on a 3-hour time frame? Maybe that would be your entry. Maybe you're looking for on the lower time frame, like your 3-hour candles, and now you're starting to buy the dips down at support. We have the reversal. We have direction. We know the stock is coming up. Once it gets up into this zone here, I'd probably be taking just some profit off the table to cushion it, because you're going to be taking this on a longer term perspective, and this is still the weekly chart. Buy and hold strategy. I don't know how long your hold strategy is, if it's 6 weeks, if it's maybe just 2-3 weeks, or maybe it's months. Let's go ahead and look at the monthly candles, and then that gives us a better idea. So the longer hold strategy you're wanting to do, the more patient you have to be in the trade. Okay, so let's check out a monthly candle. So the monthly is just giving us a big failure, and think about it. So on the weekly time frame, going back to the weekly chart, we are on Thursday right now. So let's see where Friday happens, and then next week see if we get the reversal. we can still be watching on the smaller time frame, and I encourage that. I want you to get the ebbs and flows of the stock, see how the stock works and how it flows, because each stock has its own characteristics. And if we can get an understanding of how those characteristics happen, then we will be a little bit better off. Now, the weekly chart, it closes on Friday, right? And so the monthly chart closes at the end of the month. Well, we have a big reversal candle on the monthly chart. So now, in order for this to be a reversal on the monthly chart, let's draw out some monthly candles. This is what I would love to see happen for you. I'm going to erase this. That way we get a better idea. I'm going to draw this picture out. Just rewind the video, grab those zones, copy those zones. That way you're paying attention to what's kind of happening. But let's erase this so I can give you an idea. If you're wanting to hold this thing for 4 or 5 months or something like that, this is probably the way you're going to want to try to play this. You will look for a reversal candle. And then we're going to get a pattern that looks something like this. And then we get the breakout, right? But notice that there's still resistance here and there's resistance here too. And we have those in, so we know where our zones are at. But it would make sense to wait for, and you could be a buyer on these dips, to understanding that we have the reversal pattern on the monthly chart. So I believe, and we can go back, let's look at that daily chart real quick, not to confuse you, but let's look at the daily and get an idea. 40 bucks. So above this zone, we had this zone in right here. Above this zone, that's your monthly reversal pattern. You want to start watching to see if the 3-hour and the daily chart holds 40 bucks. If it holds 40 bucks, we could see the tops of where it really consolidated. Now, what I would do and what I could show you kind of how, for example, Tesla worked. Once you get to the tops here, it would be, I know you want to buy low, and you can, absolutely, but it would also make a lot of sense to get a retest at the top of this zone. So if you, for example, get a candlestick pattern that comes up just like it is, just like this, and then comes back and retests this bottom before making another move higher, that would make a lot of sense to buy off the top of this zone in the 50 or 60 bucks. Okay, so let's look first and foremost. This way I can kind of give you an idea of what I mean here. So if we look at Tesla and we go to a monthly time frame, do you see how we had ourselves a reversal pattern here, right? So we have this big tail candle, we have the sell bar, we have our reversal, another month that holds before the big lift off. Now look way back here. And this would be something similar that's happening to that stock. It's the same patterns that we look for that play over and over. Look how we break out, and we could even go back because Tesla has done some crazy stuff. When Tesla first broke out, look where resistance was at 7 bucks. Okay, we had this push up, a consolidation sideways, a gap over $7, and then a run. Now this could be exactly this could be exactly what we're talking about right here. This is a little almost just like the same pattern that we're currently looking at. So we have our sell zone here, and then we are talking about the same exact thing. So now we're looking for a monthly reversal candle pattern right here. So we get it, right? Jeepers. We get our reversal candle right here. We get the sideways, just like I was drawing earlier. And then we get the explosive move up. We get these wicks because people are selling into it. But look what happened here. It retested that former breakout zone. Do you see how we get the retest off of 70 bucks and then the explosive move up? That would possibly be the exact same thing that's happening on the stock that we're breaking down. What is it? HYLN. So that would be something that I would be looking for. So you could be into the stock here, wait for your reversal candle pattern to happen, wait for the reversal, buy some shares, and wait, and then you would want to start adding to your position if it's a good company and if it's going to continue to move. I hope this helps. I won't be able to get this deep and involved on every single one of them. This has been long-winded, but there's only one question, so that's good. And I appreciate the question. I hope I can answer more questions. If you guys can, leave comments in the box below, and that way, and then share it so other people can see it. And I will see you in the next video.